has been doing a great job recently, and he recently sat down with Patrick Bet-David, who has also been doing a pretty great job with his show over on Valuetainment, and together they absolutely shredded the woke left and the woke ideology in general. It was an absolutely great podcast. If you haven't watched the whole thing, make sure you go check it out. I find this clip that I'm going to play in this video to be the most interesting part of the podcast because they absolutely went in on woke culture and just how brainwashed these people are, and kind of explaining how to not be brainwashed just like those people are. Let's get into this clip here of Patrick Bet-David and Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan Experience discussing this woke nonsense.
People that have found it very hard.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is something that I don't have that great of ability to do, because I feel like a lot of people nowadays, especially when it comes to politics or anything like that, a lot of people have very strong opinions that just aren't logical. It's just they have people that they get their opinions from, and they don't ever understand the reasoning behind why they hold these opinions. Whereas me, I don't get my opinions from anyone except for myself. I get information from other people and I form my own opinions. And that gets me in trouble a lot of the time. It makes a lot of you who watch these videos mad at me a lot of the time because you're wanting to hear one thing from me. You want to hear the same thing that everybody else is saying that's supposed to be, air quotes, on my side. And yet I don't care what that side opinion is supposed to be. I have my own opinions. And I think a lot of people nowadays don't have their own opinions on both sides. So it is frustrating to argue with someone who holds very strong opinions, and a lot of the time they're not even well thought out. A lot of time they haven't thought them out at all. They just heard someone else who they like or they respect said that opinion, and now they think, oh, this is the opinion. And it is very annoying. So yeah, it definitely is a learned skill, and I'm not good at it so far. It won't be, oh, I have all these reasons and stuff like that from the woke left, especially, but also from the right too, just from people in general nowadays. They will say, oh, that lighter sucks. And then you ask them why, and they're like, oh, I just don't like it. It's because they heard the opinions from someone else, so that gets very frustrating. And that's why I don't like to, I like to have debates. Yeah. But it's never good to have debates with my friends, because a lot of times, a lot of their ideas are just not well thought out. And I am not the type of person that has the patience to listen to those things. I'm going to call them out and say, that's stupid. That's stupid that you think that way. So I just kind of a result of woke culture too. It's a result of cancel culture. People are so scared to have their ideas challenged because they're not allowed to be challenged. Nobody's allowed to have an opinion except for the correct opinion. If you have the incorrect opinion, you get fired, you get canceled, like all these bad things happen. And that's a result of woke culture. 100% it's a result of woke culture. And yeah, I mean, that's a great way to raise your kids, is have them debate. Not just the other kids, but also the adults. Force them to be able to back up their ideas, other than just saying, oh yeah, drugs are bad. Well, why? Well, because everybody else says they're bad, so I think they're bad. No, you have to give actual reasons. Why do you think drugs are bad? And obviously, if you actually think through the thoughts and everything, the logic, you're going to come to the conclusion, hopefully, that drugs are bad. But it's not good to think that drugs are bad, just as an example, without having any logic or reason behind it, just because you've heard other people say that drugs are bad. And that's how most people operate. And that's a result of woke culture. It's a result of cancel culture, because now nobody is having to have their ideas challenged anymore. Because if you don't have the opinion, you are just wrong, and not just wrong, but canceled and fired from your job, and all these bad things happen to you. So everybody just has the opinion, and boom, you don't have to ever contend it with anyone, because everybody else gets wiped off the face of the earth if they have a different one.
I sit around.
To be honest, Joe Rogan would probably be one of them, because he doesn't really have a political affiliation. Like I think with Patrick Bet-David and most people like Tim Pool and these guys who are kind of thrown around as like the debate moderators all the time and everything, they all kind of have a political affiliation. Joe Rogan, if he has one, it's Democrat. He's a leftist at heart. He just got pushed out of the left because how woke and insane they've become. So Joe Rogan is definitely one of them. And then it would have to be someone who is reasonable, but also pretty far left, which is very, very, very hard to find. But yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan would probably be one of them, but I haven't thought it through either. Let me know in the comments, what would your answer be to Patrick Bet-David's question just now? Who do you think that we would have to get in the same room to kind of fix the discourse in America right now? To be honest with you, I don't really know if it's fixable. I don't know if it's a fixable problem. I'm kind of past that at this point. I'm not really looking to fix the discourse in America. It's more just like, we have to defeat the other side, and I don't like that it's like that, but that's just how it is, because that's how they are. All of their decision making right now is, how do we defeat the big bad Donald Trump? How do we defeat the right wing? That's all that they're thinking about right now. So if we're not thinking the same way, we're going to lose because they're 100% thinking that way. And if we don't think that way, we just lose. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you thought about Patrick Bet-David and Joe Rogan's conversation here. I thought it was a great one. Go watch the whole podcast if you haven't already. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope to see you guys on the next